Hello physical fiends, over a year ago I published a video talking about all the retro video game compilations available physically on the Nintendo Switch. It was a surprisingly popular topic and I'm gonna take credit for this. I think it ignited something within the industry because in the first 8 years of the Switch's life I covered then, there were 160 compilations I talked about. That's 20 per year on average. Well, in the year since that video, there has been a slew of new announcements. 57 more retro compilations in this video. Okay, a few of them are the collections I overlooked the first time around, but you can't deny retro fever is in the air. And good, because retro games are awesome and I love talking about them. If you haven't watched the first video, you can watch it after this and tell me if I missed anything between the two of them. Let's jump in. ACA Neo Geo Selections Volume 7 to 10 is continuing on from the previous video, at which point we had reached 6 volumes. Since then, the series has apparently come to an end, reaching Volume 10, and each of these contains 10 Neo Geo arcade games with a lot of variety on each cartridge. Action games, shmups, beat-em-ups, fighting games, arcade sports, something for everyone on each cartridge, and they are import exclusives, available in Japan and Asian regions. With 10 volumes in total, 100 games, this is one of my favorite compilation series. Aero, the Acro-Bat Collection, is a surprisingly complicated upcoming physical release on Nintendo Switch and PlayStation 5 because it's going to be different between regions. In North America, Limited Run will be handling this, and it includes 4 games in the series plus 3 previously unreleased Mega Drive variants of those that came out on the Super Nintendo. While Europe lacks those Mega Drive extras, it instead includes, in my personal opinion, something better. It has 2 bonus games, Feudal Bros and Justice Ninja Casey, 2 more games compared to almost indistinguishable variants. That's the better one for me. Barbie Rewind is an upcoming collection that came out of nowhere. You'd think there wouldn't be much of a market for cheap licensed tie-ins that many would call shovelware, but here we are. This includes a lot of games that are wrapped up within a game itself. It will also be on PlayStation 5, but the Switch physical also has a deluxe edition which comes with an exclusive Barbie doll. BAROQUE-YA is an import exclusive that's one of the borderline as to whether one should import it or not. 2 of the 4 games included do not have English, and one of those is actually the main event, the proper dungeon crawling RPG. You do get a mix of genres here. There is a visual novel, which also does not have English, but the shmup and the weird arcade mobile style game do. You can check my video for more information if you are intrigued. BloodRayne Definitive Collection is an upcoming collection of 3 BloodRayne games, 2 of which count as retro due to being PlayStation 2 games. Jank, but lovable. This collection is from Strictly Limited Games, one of their latest pre-orders due for later this year. It is worth pointing out that Limited Run Games did do these individually in North America, but this collection will be the best way to get it when it eventually releases, and it will also be on PlayStation 5. Bobble for friends, The Baron is Back, sneaks in here because despite the main event being a modern game, it also includes the original arcade rendition of Bobble, which is cool. This is one of those sneaky additions to the list due to the presence of only one retro game, but I think it's cool and worth pointing out. This is also on PlayStation 4. And by the way, if you want to purchase this or any of the games featured in this video, check the links down below in the description and pinned comment. I have linked to an Excel sheet with all the games in this video and where you can buy them, where applicable, of course. I've linked to a few sites, mostly VGP, who are fantastic with free worldwide shipping on orders over $55 American, and if you buy something via my link with them, you are put into a draw to have a chance of winning a $10 discount coupon every week, the winner of which I announce every Monday. I've also linked PlayAsia, who are great for some import exclusives featured here, and if you click my link for them, then you will be eligible to use my discount code Jordan2026, which will get you 5% off, but you must click my link first. Any purchase made via one of those links helps support me and this channel in the best way possible, and I do truly thank you from the bottom of my heart. Capcom Arcade Stadium Volume 1 and 2 are two separate collections that were done by Limited Run Games in North America. Each volume contains 32 arcade games from Capcom's back catalog, which is a lot, and Capcom are legendary for a reason. So much variety, you get shmups, fighting games, action games. These two packs have got you covered. Neither of these have been sent out by Limited Run yet, but hopefully soon, and they are also on PlayStation 4 and Xbox. Castle of Shikigami Trilogy. Okay, this is a bit of a stretch since it's not technically a compilation, as all three games are spread over 3 cartridges, but the first game, the most retro of them all, is exclusive to this triple pack, so it's kind of a compilation. These 6th generation of shmups are really good pick up and play titles that do have their own little twists that set them apart. The triple pack is an import exclusive, but the publisher and developer have said they are potentially working on something for the West. Cotton Reboot, I totally forgot about this one last time, but the fact that it's getting a new release on Nintendo Switch 2 reminded me, oh yeah, not only does it contain a remake of the original Cotton game, but as a bonus, it does in fact include the original game in its X68000 form. Awesome! In many ways, I enjoyed playing that one a bit more. It's a very cheap physical on the original Switch, but later this year in Europe, there's also going to be a Switch 2 physical coming as well on a proper cartridge alongside a new PlayStation 5 release, and for posterity's sake, there was a PlayStation 4 physical that's already out. Devil Engine, another one that's sort of sneaking in here, and it maybe is the sneakiest of them all. While this released in North America via Limited Run Games, I'm only including the Japanese physical, which includes a bonus game called Shenandoah 1993, which was supposed to be an Amiga shmup from, well, 1993, before it never released. It was somehow cancelled. Well, now it has been released with this Japanese package that's mainly focused on the excellent Devil Engine, which is not a retro title, but Shenandoah 1993 is, and it's also on PlayStation 5. Disney Afternoon Collection has a physical release on Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch 2 on a proper cartridge, and this was a welcome release too because the digital version from years ago on other consoles practically begged to be on a Nintendo system, considering it's mostly NES games. And finally, after so long, not only did it release digitally, but physically too on Nintendo, and it's even better thanks to the addition of 2 Super Nintendo games. I'd say all of them, aside from Tailspin, are classics. Bonkers, I'm still not decided on either. I mean, it's fine, but is it a classic? I'm not entirely sure right now. Either way, it's worth it for DuckTales alone. Ernest Evans Collection, pre-orders for this were taken by Limited Run, and shipping is expected in the next couple of months. This is a trilogy that includes Ernest Evans and 2 adjacent games, El Viento and Annette Returns. They are all set in the same universe. You get 2 platformers and a beat-em-up, one of which never released in North America back in the day, and none of them arrived in Europe. A nice curiosity that will also be on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. Eschatos is one I missed in the last video because I totally forgot that this physical, marketed as a single shmup, also includes Judgment Silver Sword and Cardinal Sins, which were 2 Wonder Swan shmups, a couple of the best games on that very obscure Japanese-only system. So actually, it is a triple pack. Sadly, Strictly Limited have not yet printed this as far as I know, but hopefully they get to it soon. They also took orders for a PlayStation 4 version. Fighting Force Collection was recently sent out by Limited Run Games and contains both games in the Fighting Force series. Based on the PlayStation 1 versions, these were 3D beat-em-ups made by Core Design when they somehow found some respite from making endless Tomb Raider games. A bit schlocky, definitely not the best in their genre, but there is a ton of nostalgia for a lot of people out there. This was also produced on PlayStation 5. Final Fantasy Tactics, the Ivalice Chronicles, kinda makes it because not only does it include the remaster of the classic tactical RPG, but it also includes the original too, which retains everything except for one thing. They changed the script to match the modern one, which me, as an old man shouting at a cloud, I don't like. Like, imagine going back to your favorite movie and all the dialogue is different. That's kind of how I feel about it, but hey, for new gamers, it is an essential addition to the collection, and it was also released on PlayStation 5. Freddi Fish Collection is Limited Run's follow-up to the Humongous Collection, so much so I actually confuse them for the same thing from time to time. This contains 5 of the Freddi the Fish edutainment games, the third of which actually did appear on the Humongous Collections, just to add to the confusion. But yeah, I am sure there is a bunch of nostalgia for North Americans. I don't think these were in the UK, I don't remember them anyways. It's also on PlayStation 5. Ganbare Goemon Collection is an import exclusive that does not have English, or at least it won't have English, which is very sad and does make some of the games included a bit inaccessible. However, there's still a bit of retro titles here, like platformers that are perfectly pick-up and playable. Despite the lack of English, this is a very hotly anticipated import. Loads of people have imported this one already, at least pre-ordered it, and it will also be on PlayStation 5. Golden Tee Arcade Classics is a rather obscure collection, not something you'd think you'd see this day and age, but it is definitely targeted towards a certain audience, mostly drunk dads who spent your childhood in the pub. It doesn't only contain golf though, there's also a bowling one and a shuffle shot, whatever that is, for 8 titles in total. This is one to get your dad for Father's Day probably, and it's a very cheap physical that's also on PlayStation 5. Gradius Origins may include a brand new game in the series, but it is also a comprehensive retro collection too of the Gradius Life Force Salamander titles from regional variants, consoles, arcades. Sadly no portable Game Boy versions, which I do have a soft spot for, but this is one for Gradius fans, of which I am one. Limited Run handled this in North America, which was also on PlayStation 5 and Xbox, but it is also available in Japan. But not on Xbox, obviously. Don't be insane. Heretic plus Hexen is a really good double pack developed by the legendary Night Dive Studios. Here you get 2 dark fantasy FPS classics that not only contain the original content but new content too, created in collaboration with id Software, the original developers. These are like Doom but fewer demons on Mars. Limited Run handled the physical for this only in North America, but it's also on PlayStation 5 and Xbox. Jaws Retro Edition is another limited run release and is also a bit of a sneaky edition because this expanded version of the NES game with more stuff going on also includes the original game too. Yes, an NES ROM of a weirdly not terrible game from LJN. You can also get it on PlayStation 5 if you need extra boost power. Joe & Mac Retro Collection is almost certainly getting a physical release. I don't usually include Kickstarter titles, but it's funded and it's from Red Hot Games, who can be a bit slow with certain stuff, but for their bigger titles they're good for it, and this will include Joe & Mac Caveman Ninja, Congo's Caper, and Joe & Mac Lost in the Tropics. Now with lots of features that you'd expect in any normal retro collection these days, it will also be on PlayStation 5. The Last Ninja Collection plus bonus games, released only in Europe, and this contains most games and their variations in the Last Ninja series, home computer versions, and I think these were very European orientated, but maybe some North Americans have some nostalgia for it. This did become pretty hard to attain at one point, but should be decently available now, although every time I said that, it goes out of stock like again. Llamasoft, the Jeff Minter story. I definitely missed this one last time around. This contains 42 games from Jeff Minter. No wonder this guy is considered such a legend in the home computer circle. You get things from the Spectrum up to the Atari Jaguar. It also contains documentary features to glaze over the man himself. Definitely an education piece that's also got a PlayStation 5 physical release. Marvel Maximum Collection is an upcoming collection from Limited Run Games and definitely one of their bigger titles recently. This contains a bunch of Marvel games, as you'd expect, mostly beat 'em ups, which suits the theme nicely, but it also includes Silver Surfer. The biggest showpiece is the 6-player X-Men Arcade, which can be played online if the online actually works. It seems like the physical will be a nice package once it actually comes out, which will also be on PlayStation 5 and Xbox. Mega Man Star Force Legacy Collection is the sole addition to this list in the Mega Man series, considering the previous video was packed with Mega Man titles. This includes the DS games, which were sequel series to the GBA's Battle Network, now in 3D with a slightly new perspective. It still retains similar gameplay style. It has 3 totally unique games, but 7 variations in total. In the West, it also has a physical on PlayStation 5, but in Japan, it also got a PS4 release as well. Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 2 is an upcoming collection, and although the majority of this package is definitely a download, if it is anything like Volume 1, there is a solid chance that the Game Boy Color game, Ghost Babel, I've never said Babel, Ghost Babble may be on the cartridge. That's not official, but it's something to keep in mind. This will be on PlayStation 5 and Xbox 2, which should be more complete. And there'll also be a Switch 2 game key, which will be totally incomplete. Boo! Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection is a fantastic collection of some of the most unfair arcade fighting games ever made. It includes most of the games up to 4, has arcade, console variants, portable versions, plus a couple of dodgy spin-offs that the world really needs to suffer through. I really enjoyed this collection. I am a sucker for old school Mortal Kombat lore. The only downside is that when the cartridges went into production for Switch and Switch 2, MK4's port was not finished yet, and so it needs to be downloaded. That is quite a big shame. It's also on PlayStation 5 and Xbox, but that last one was exclusive to limited run games in North America. Neopets Mega Mini Games Collection. I have no idea if this really deserves to be here since I'm not entirely familiar with this online community game thing, but I do believe these are mini games that were actually part of the website back in the day. How far back in the day? I don't know, you'll have to tell me. Could you play any of these mini games during the PlayStation 2, GameCube era of gaming? Let me know, and it's also on PlayStation 5. Nickelodeon Splat Pack was a very random release from Limited Run Games. It's like they found 3 games down the back of the sofa and decided to try and sell them. You get Guts, Rocco's Modern Life, Spunky's Dangerous Days, and Real Monsters, which I think will only really appeal to those who rented these Super Nintendo games back in the day. If you're looking for a nostalgia hit from mediocre licensed tie-ins, this could be for you, and it's also on PlayStation 5. Operation Night Strikers. I can't believe I didn't include this in the last video. Maybe the timing was just enough to miss it, but this is a brilliant collection from M2 that contains Operation Wolf, Operation Thunderbolt, and Space Gun, which are light gun games, plus Night Strikers, which is a rail shooter of sorts. Somehow, M2 made them work really well on consoles. This was at retail in Europe and limited run in North America. Parasol Superstars is a double pack of games that were initially supposed to release individually, but after poor sales, they smashed them together into one package. This contains Parasol Stars, which is the third Bubble game. I don't know which version of it it's based off, but it also includes a quirky, almost anachronistic arcade game, Spiker Adventure. Or is it Speaker? Or Spicer? I don't know. This is a European-only release from In Games and is also available on PlayStation 5. Psyvariar Delta. This is one I missed from the previous video. This contains Psyvariar Medium Unit and Psyvariar Revision, 2 arcade shmups that are admittedly very similar to one another, but they released in arcades in the super early 2000s, and it also has Delta, which is a newer version of the game. And speaking of new version, the 3rd game in the series recently released, and it is very good. It makes me want to go back and play this one, which also released on PlayStation 4. Raiden Fighters Remix Collection includes the spin-off games of the main Raiden games, even though it appears most people prefer these ones, which are a bit more standard in terms of shmup appeal. You get Raiden Fighters 1, 2, and Jet. Although this package did come in for some criticism from shmup fans concerning input lag as well as the refresh rate not matching the original arcade version, which caused things to mess up. This release is currently an import exclusive that's also available on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. If you found this video useful so far and you enjoy physical video games, you have the sense enough to want to actually own the things you pay money for, then hit that subscribe button. This is the place to be. Not only will you get useful resources like these, you'll get new game announcements, alerts on rare game reprints or restocks, discounts videos, and opinion pieces. It will be the best thing you do today, I promise ya. Rayman 30th Anniversary contains the first game in the series, but lots of variations of it. You get the Jaguar version, the PS1, DOS, and even the Game Boy Color version. It is a fantastic package, but the glaring issue is the soundtrack not being the original, which was a big part of the experience. Something to do with rights issues. If you can get over that, it is a nice little retro collection. If you can't, then totally understandable, but it will also be on PlayStation 5. Ren and Stimpy Happy Joy Collection, another retro collection farted out by limited run games. At least this one has a bit of cohesion with the games included. This includes 5 Ren and Stimpy games plus variations of them where applicable. Seems okay, but it's missing the one game that's actually considered good. Limited Run took pre-orders for this not that long ago, so the physical, which will also be on PlayStation 5, isn't actually out yet. River City Girls Complete Edition sneaks into this video because this import exclusive contains River City Girls 1 and 2, which are not retro games, but it also includes River City Girls 0, which is a retro game. Originally only released on the Super Famicom, it wasn't even part of the Girls sub-series. It was grandfathered in by Limited Run, and it is worth pointing out that Limited Run did do these individually in North America, but this Asian release is the only one that actually fits this video. Route 16 Collection is an upcoming retro collection that is exclusive to Japan. Language options aren't currently known, but I think it's likely to have English. And this has 3 games from Sunsoft, very old school maze racing games, 2 retro games plus a brand new refreshed entry in the franchise, making for a cheap import curiosity when it eventually comes out. Rugrats Retro Rewind is an upcoming collection from Limited Run Games. This contains a bunch of games in the cartoon franchise, most of them pretty mediocre, but there is a gem or 2 in there, surprisingly. I remember playing one of the PlayStation 1 games as a kid and loving it, even though I was too old for the target audience. But I think a lot of 30 to 35-year-olds will have secretly pre-ordered this one from Limited Run on either Switch or PlayStation 5. Snow Bros Classic Collection is another limited run release. There's definitely a theme in this video, and this is a basic collection that contains the original Snow Bros game and its Game Boy, NES, and Genesis forms. You'd think these would have been unlockable bonuses in the newer games that have come out, but nah, they saved it for this mildly unexciting collection, also on PlayStation 5. Super Bomberman Collection is one I really love, developed by Red Hot Games. This includes the NES Bomberman games, plus the main events being the excellent Super Nintendo releases. Even the ones that only released in Japan, they have now been translated to English. Not only do you get multiplayer mayhem, but you also get the rather fun campaign modes too, a few of which can be played in co-op fantastically. Really nicely put together package that's releasing on both Switch at retail, but the Switch 2 physical is exclusive to certain websites. In North America, the Switch 2 physical is at Video Games Plus, and in Europe, it's at redhotgames.com. It will also be on PlayStation 5, and in Europe, there will also be an Xbox copy too. Taito LD Collection is an import exclusive title, and there is a big caveat with this as to whether it's worth an import or not for you, since English isn't really included. These are FMV games that don't really need English to be playable, but you may miss out on some of the FMV story, even if it's mostly just spectacle, anime spectacle in video game form. Taito Milestones 4 is a mildly disappointing follow-up to the legendary 3rd entry. This one is more in line with the first volume, which I was very critical of. This is going back to mostly ancient curiosities rather than games that still hold up well today, but if you find it for a decent price, you get 10 games from Taito, who are a legendary company for a reason. Telenet Fuku-Bukuro, again, your mileage will certainly vary for this one. Edea with another Telenet release, however, unlike their inaccessible JRPGs or their totally accessible shmups, this one is a mixed bag. This is a bunch of PC Engine games that range from competitive arcade-style games, racing games, to a completely impenetrable story-heavy strategy game. 6 games in total, lots of Japanese-only animated cutscenes, cute and fascinating but no English whatsoever. Some games will be playable, others will not be. Telenet Shooting Collection 1 and 2. These featured in the previous video, but there's been an update, and a pretty big one too. So Limited Run did the first collection in North America. The second collection remained a Japanese exclusive with no translation. I was expecting Limited Run to do that one eventually, but something better happened. Play Asia are now doing a double pack of 1 and 2 together, with 2 finally being in English for the first time. Altogether, you get 8 shmups from mostly the PC Engine, but some Mega Drive titles too. Tenshin no Uta, the Angelverse Collection. Limited Run put pre-orders up for this not all that long ago, and it is a double pack of 2 PC Engine RPGs, and it will be available in English for the first time via Limited Run. I am all about stuff like this, and they are highly regarded for an emotional, character-driven story that has a romance theme to it. I would love to play them one day. Toaplan Arcade Collection Volume 1 and Volume 2 are two separate collections that pretty much are both essential, especially if you are a fan of shmups. Each collection contains 8 games from the legendary shmup developers, including Truxton 1 and 2, Batsugun, Zeroing, and yes, even Fire Shark and Flying Shark, which are in some collections I'm going to mention next. But it is worth mentioning that these are purely the arcade versions. No special console variants or anything like that, and they are also available on PlayStation 5. Toaplan Arcade Garage Flying Fire Shark was an import exclusive in the last video, but since then, this has been announced for a European physical release coming in August, and this contains 14 variations of this game series. Flying Shark, Fire Shark, you get arcade, console versions of them, 8-bit, 16-bit, very well loved, slightly old school shmups from Toaplan, but it will also be on PlayStation 4. Toaplan Arcade Garage Kyokoku Tiger Heli is also getting a new release in Europe after already releasing in North America via limited run games. This one has fewer games and versions, but still very influential for the shmup genre. It includes arcade, 16-bit, 8-bit versions of the game, plus a couple of bonus titles. I don't believe this European version will be any better than limited runs in terms of content, and it will also be on PlayStation 4. Toy Story Retro Roundup and Toy Story 3 Complete Edition is an upcoming physical release on Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch 2 on a proper cartridge, and this is marketed as a double feature. The main event is Toy Story 3 from the PS360 era, but the second are the more retro titles, which has 4 Toy Story games and 2 A Bug's Life games, with console variants to boot. I'm very much looking forward to this when it releases October 15th, and it'll also be on PlayStation 5 and PS4. Turok Trilogy Bundle, I'm going to take credit for this one. I think I summoned it into existence. After limited run games released these individually in North America, I begged for a triple pack, and late last year, it came out. 3 Nintendo 64 games brought back to be better than ever. They play very well even to this day, as long as you don't mind getting lost and confused a little bit. I am very nostalgic for the original game specifically, and this triple pack is also on PlayStation 5. Worms Armageddon Anniversary Edition. I think I missed this one last time. Not only does it include a remastered version of the classic Worms Armageddon, but it also includes the Game Boy Color game as well, as a nice little bonus. Personally, I think a full Worms collection would be very welcome. I do enjoy the original despite it having much less options and personality. Plus, home consoles never got Worms 2. What's that all about? Come on, Team 17, give us a proper Worms collection. And there we have Part 2 of the Retro Compilations on Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch 2. If I missed anything, let me know. But do be sure to check out Part 1 since it's most likely going to feature in that video. If you want to purchase any of these games, then please do so via the Excel sheet in the description. Subscribe if you haven't already, and most of all, have a fantastic day. Take care.